I had a very interesting email from a brand new YouTube creator. They wanted me to do a custom pour for them. Nothing new in this, but man, what did I let myself in for? It pushed me to my limit with my 3D editing and Blender skills, something which I've just learnt as I've gone along, not to mention the pour. Let me be honest, I could have said no, and I have done many times in the past, but for some reason I jumped at this pour idea. That was until I completely understood the task at hand. As you can see, it starts off like any other pour really, any other sandcast. I'm sieving the sand over the 3D print. The 3D print was a struggle, as I said, with the Blender work. This actual design's got some lettering on, and I did have some back and forth with the customer. They really wanted the lettering, and I did push back a bit because lettering is I'll be honest, it's an absolute pain in the bum to do. You ask any sandcaster, lettering is just a pain, but I'm so glad that they taught me around, so I did it. And it's, you know, what can I say, it's the bit that makes it so difficult. But here we go, I'm starting to get the sand in. It's all sieved, so the first layer's very fine on top of the 3D print, so you get a good impression. And the only way to do this is get your fingers in and try and hold the print in place. What I'm trying to do here is push down, compress the sand, but make sure the print doesn't move. The print has to stay still. And obviously you got the hammer there, we all love a hammer. Got the big boy out, and now we just tidy up the edges with the old dough slice, and there you go. And this part, I really love this part. It's very therapeutic, and obviously I'm doing this voiceover after the fact, and in my head now I'm thinking, oh, we're on easy street, it's going well. I'm doing just scraping it off, and it's yeah, it's a lovely day. When I cracked it open, as you can see here, look at the state of that around the edges. It's actually moved, and now I've got to try and manipulate the sand back in, and obviously this is moving the impression inside, so it's just like, oh, is this going to work? This is where all that time's gone, and it's like, do I carry on or do I start afresh? And I took a massive gamble. I carried on. As you'll see here, I'm just manipulating the sand, giving it a push in again to try and get the impression right, and I was like, you know, nick us to it, we'll carry on. And now what we do now is basically for the top half of the flask we do exactly the same, and I'll just speed this part up. So once the malleting's been done, again we're scraping the edges. And then once we've scraped all the edges, this time we've got to start thinking about how we're going to pour the metal in. And what we need to do is actually make a sprue. It's what they call a sprue hole. And this is what you'll see me doing here. Again, here we just go. There's my thumb. And that's the best tool I've found. A thumb and an old kitchen knife with the end broken off. And, you know, it seems to work. And I'll just do this on both sides. And then once we've done the sprue on both sides, we've got to try and get the 3D print out without breaking the design. So I'll give it a tap to release the air. And there we have it. Out it comes. And now, what we're doing now, these little lines are just to let some of the gases escape, so we don't get no thoughts when it's pouring. And really now, it's down to the silver gods as we go across to the pour. I just push it together. And yeah, we go on to the pour. So what I'm doing here is just heating the top of the flask with a blowtorch. This is because it's a cast iron and it's quite cold. So we just want to get all the moisture out, because what we don't want to happen is if I miss pour, if I miss the hole as it were, and I hit the cast iron, it could spray, it could hiss and pop and spray everywhere. So we don't want that to happen. So it's just a little safety precaution. And again, I'm doing the same with the tongs, because obviously you don't want no damp or condensation in when you pull it out. There you go, in it goes. We'll just see that in slow-mo. Absolutely love the slow-mo. Here we go. Come on, let's be having you. Oh, look at that. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Look at them flames. And that was the pour. And as you can see, it's all smoking around the edges. That's because of the little lines. It's letting the gases escape, what we want. And now the the only thing we've got to do now is crack it open and get it over in the water to quench it. Now I don't have to quench it. Oh, that's me just checking it. For some reason I've got this thing where I've just got to tap it. I know it's set, but I've just got to tap it with a knife. So here we go, let's crack it open. Oh, there we go. So now we'll get it across to the quench. If I can find the grips. There we go. So a couple of hours later, after cutting the sprue off, sanding, polishing, toning and the final cleaning, we come up with a finished piece. And how did it turn out? Well, if you remember at the beginning of the video, I said this was for a new YouTube creator. So if you check this video out up here, he's done a lovely unboxing video so you can see how it turned out. Cheers for watching, folks.